Welcome to the Battle of Ohio podcast, where we follow the revival of the historic rivalry between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns.
Fucking insane first half, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and get into these predictions, though. So welcome everybody to a new episode, a new season of Battle of Ohio podcast predictions. So this is kind of like our separate kind of thing. This isn't really like podcast format. This is just kind of me and Thomas casually going through the different games and picking who we think is going to win each week. And then at the end of the season, we see who's got a better record, and then that person gets to gloat, and also gets to gloat at the end of each week if he did better than the other person. So Thomas last year absolutely wiped the floor with me. If you recall, 94-44-1 to 81-57-1. He got 13 games right where I got him wrong. So that was annoying, but I actually don't know where it is right now. Oh, here it is.
He's gonna wave that jersey in my face.
I'm just gonna bring this jersey up again if y'all didn't remember. When we actually had the thought to bet on the predictions, I ended up winning that because that was the playoff prediction. So what do you want to do, Thomas? You want to do a bet again this year? Maybe you can kick my ass again in the regular season.
No, regular season don't matter.
No, okay, all right, never mind then.
But I mean, we can. I just can't think on the spot. Let's figure it out. Let me think about it.
Okay, all right. Well, hey, how about this? If anybody's watching, if you have an idea of what the bet should be, why don't you let us know? If not, we'll figure something out. Don't worry about it. So now the slate is wiped clean. Time to start from scratch. And we will start. By the way, I actually get started with noting that we are recording this during the opening game of the year, which is Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Dallas Cowboys in Tampa Bay, right?
Yeah,
I believe it's in Tampa. Yeah, Tampa Bay hosting the Dallas Cowboys, and it's currently almost halftime. And it's been a great game so far. Like I tell you what, it's been back and forth. Dallas has been way more competitive than I expected them to be. I think than a lot of people expected them to be. And there's been changes of possession. There's been turnovers. There's been almost turnovers. There's been missed kicks. This game has had absolutely everything. And I might actually go back and watch this game like for real because I've just kind of been vaguely paying attention to it during the podcast. But this has been a great game so far.
I've been great.
So we did when we were recording the podcast, the game had just started, and I kind of had the thought right away to be like, let's go ahead and quickly come up with our predictions. So Thomas picked the Cowboys to win, and I picked the Buccaneers to win. And if you want proof, you can go watch the intro of that podcast, which should be up by now. What'd you say?
I think go watch the intro, y'all.
Yeah, go watch. Well, go watch the podcast. If you're here watching us make predictions and you don't watch the podcast, I'm not really entirely sure why. Like you just really like me and Thomas, but you just don't want to hear us talk about the Bengals and Browns. Well, we have some good times on the podcast, so y'all definitely want to watch that. But I imagine if you're here, you probably also watch the podcast, so you probably already heard it. But if you haven't heard that yet, go watch the intro. We did already pick these games, and the game had started. There was a couple of plays that had happened, but it was still 0-0 when we picked the games. So Thomas picked the Cowboys, I picked the Buccaneers. So in my mind, even though it wasn't exactly on time, those picks do count.
They do.
So let's go ahead and go through this slate of games. So as always, we save the AFC North games for last. So we're going to start. Oh, and by the way, everybody, I use just to shout them out. They're not a sponsor or anything. I really like the product they put out, and I feel like they deserve a shout out. But I use playoffpredictors.com, formerly some convoluted name, formerly Ray Lenhoff's Playoff Predictors, but now it's a little bit more sleek of a design. So this is the website I use. You can basically go through and I always used to love using the ESPN playoff machine as the season got late, just to see what the scenarios were for the Bengals potentially making the playoffs. And with this website, you can do that all year. You can just kind of see like, what if this happens throughout the entire season? And I think as soon as the schedule is released, they have the schedules up and, ready for everything to go and everything. So this is basically what we use to keep track of it. I have my predictions here. I have a separate tab of Thomas's predictions here, and then I take a screenshot of each of them and save them in a file I have on my computer so that we remember who made what picks. And then that's how we count them up and everything. So, if you want to play along, you can use this website, or I don't know, maybe we should do like a pick'em league in ESPN. Maybe we'll do that next year. I don't know. I don't really feel like doing anything extra right now. But anyway, so we're going to go ahead and get things started off with Jaguars going to Houston to play the Texans. Now, these are two very bad teams. The Houston Texans in particular are notable for how bad they currently look after all of the absolutely terrible offseason moves they've had over the last couple of years. Bill O'Brien and what's their general manager's name? That weird preacher guy? Jack Easterby. I don't know,
idiot.
Yeah. Jack Easterby is his name. So Bill O'Brien and Jack Easterby absolutely wrecked this franchise, and it looks hopeless out there. But I mean, the Jaguars are very bad and have been very bad for most of their existence. So I think the biggest difference in this one is hope. A lot of Jaguars fans have hope. Now I know, Thomas, you're not a big fan of Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence.
Nope.
But Jaguars fans have hope. So Texans fans have no hope. Texans fans are just like lost in the dust. So I personally think that the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to win this game, because I think like I said, I think the Texans are absolutely fucking hopeless, and I think the Jaguars. I'm not sure I believe in Urban Meyer as a professional coach, but I do think that week one with all that momentum, I think they're going to have enough to beat the Texans.
No, I'm going to go with the Texans.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Texans because first of all, I like Tyrod Taylor. I like Tyrod Taylor. Well, I mean, they don't got Will Fuller anymore. Well, who do they got on the offense anymore? Honestly,
nobody.
See, they don't. See, but I'm gonna go.
They got that dude they traded for. With the Laramie Tunsil, they got him.
Yeah, but I like Will Fuller. I mean, I don't like Will Fuller. I really like Tyrod Taylor. I think Tyrod Taylor can come in. He's going to be a very stable quarterback. Honestly, what it is, I just think Tyrod Taylor is going to have a better performance than Trevor Lawrence's first game.
Well, I mean, okay, that might be true, but man, I'm just saying Tyrod Taylor ain't got anybody to throw the ball to. Trevor Lawrence, at least, I mean, I know he lost Travis Etienne, but he still got James Robinson. He still got DJ Chark. He still got Laviska Shenault. I mean, like, this Jaguars team has a lot of options on offense, and I'm not saying they're going to have a great year, but I mean, really, you think the Texans are going to beat them? I think the Texans could be 0-17.
I don't think they're going to go 0-17. Oh, they do.
Okay. All right. So Thomas picking the Texans.
I'm taking the Texans.
All right.
I think Tyrod Taylor will come in and do his thing. I really do think Tyrod Taylor going to. I think Tyrod Taylor going to have a solid season this year.
Okay, that's fair. So next game we got the Miami Dolphins traveling to Foxborough to take on the Patriots for Tua Tagovailoa versus Mac Jones. The battle of the Alabama quarterbacks. So who do you got, Thomas?
Give me the Patriots.
Patriots?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that defense is back.
Yep. I think I'm going to agree too. I also I've been on record saying this before. I don't believe in Brian Flores. I did at first, and I don't like the way he's been. I don't like the way he's been kind of like steering Tua Tagovailoa's career. I think he's got a good chance of ruining Tua Tagovailoa as a quarterback.
Yeah, I don't think he's doing it right. He's not doing it right at all.
Yeah, he has not been doing the right thing this whole time. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe this year Tua comes out and he, ends up like with a full off season of work as their bona fide starter. You never know. But I don't believe in Brian Flores right now. And I think the Patriots have kind of, quietly put together a much more competitive team. They had a really strong offseason, and Mac Jones out of nowhere. I mean, you all can listen to this podcast during draft season. I did not think Mac Jones would be a good quarterback, but so far he's looked really good. So, if Mac Jones really is good, then this Patriots team could kind of be back to being, big competition in the AFC East. I mean, I still think the Bills are probably the team to beat, but the Patriots could definitely challenge them if Mac Jones really is as good as he looked in the preseason.
Mac Jones is going to be the quarterback for the Patriots for the next 20 years.
He quite possibly could be. If
he's just like
good.
That's my thought. That's my thought ever since they drafted him. I was just like, of course the Patriots take him.
Yeah, right. And that's what everybody was saying. Everybody was like making a joke about how Bill Belichick was going to come up with some master plan and end up with Trevor Lawrence. But right now, it's looking like he might have the best quarterback in the draft. I mean, Justin Fields looked pretty good, but I think Mac Jones probably out of all of them has probably looked the best.
Yeah, I agree. No. Yeah, give me the Patriots this game. Definitely give me the Patriots this game.
All right. So next game, we got the New York Jets going to Carolina to take on the Panthers. So this is the Sam Darnold revenge game. Does he get his revenge, Thomas?
Yes.
Panthers?
Simply, I like the Panthers. That's Matt Rule, right? The coach of the Panthers. His name?
Yeah.
Did I get his name right?
Matt Rule.
Former coach of the Baylor. I like him as a coach. I like him as a coach. I think he's a really good coach. I think you give him a second year in the system. I think that honestly, I really want to see what Sam Darnold does with weapons like Christian McCaffrey. I did Christian McCaffrey last podcast. I was just joking, really. I think Christian McCaffrey has a really good run of that. So he has weapons.
I do think he's a good running back. Yeah.
What's his name? DJ Moore. I think he had the guy on their team. Yeah, so he has weapons now. He's not on a completely dud of a team anymore. So yeah, so give me the Panthers. Yeah, give me the Panthers.
Tom's got the Panthers, and I think I'm going to agree. I'm going to take the Panthers too. And the main, I will say, I like Robert Saleh as a head coach. I think he's going to have a good career in New York. I think I might actually like Robert Saleh better than I like Matt Rule as a coach. But I think Matt Rule has his team in a better position now than the Jets are currently in. I think the Jets might take the Jets could be somewhat competitive later this year, but I don't think it's going to happen week one. I think it's going to take some time to get things together. And like I said earlier, I think Sam Darnold's got his sights set on this game. I think Sam Darnold is ready to show the Jets, hey, you guys made a mistake by not building around me, so I'm going to show you what this is really about.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. I'm going to take the Panthers in this game.
Okay. Dude, I really hope Sam Darnold have a really good year this year.
I do too. Partially because I've always liked Carolina. I've always liked the Panthers. But also because I think Sam Darnold kind of got a bad rap.
He did.
I think he doesn't really.
He's so young too.
He deserves better than what he got. Yeah, that's the other thing.
He's still so young, yeah.
And also, USC kind of needs to have like the last good USC quarterback was Carson Palmer. So it's I think it'd be kind of USC just got this horrible rap about quarterbacks lately. I think it'd be nice for them if they had somebody who was actually halfway decent.
Well, the other thing about Sam Darnold always showed flashes, but he never felt like he reached his full potential. But that's mainly because of like you said, the environment that he was in, the Jets.
Is Greg Zuerlein lining up for a 60-yard field goal attempt?
He is indeed lining up for a 60-yard field goal.
Isn't this the guy who already missed a short field goal and an extra point?
No, he missed that one.
And he might – oh, no, he missed it.
No, he missed that one. That wasn't close.
I know it was close, but it kind of tailed off at the end there. I thought he might have had it.
Rest in peace forever. Got him on his fantasy team. Wait, hold up.
Well, there's a reason I took Evan McPherson. Now, I didn't in our league because, like I said, somebody drafted him in the friggin' 7th round. I forget who I think I might have taken. What's his name? The Daniel Carlson, the guy out of Las Vegas. I think that might be the kicker that I took. I can't quite remember because, once Evan McPherson's gone, then it's just like, are you really gonna pick early so you can get Justin Tucker? And I don't think any kicker's worth taking that early. I just think it's a little ridiculous. Evan McPherson is worth targeting, but only if you can get him late. Looks like, yeah, I did get Daniel Carlson. I was right. So the Las Vegas kicker, that's who I got. I think I did pretty well with him last year. I had him on waivers a lot.
All right, cool. I got the kicker from the Rams. Matt Gray.
Which
I don't know if he's good.
Matt Gay. Right?
Yeah, I don't know if he's good or not.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good. I think actually because of the way the Rams offense is with Matt Stafford, I think there's going to be a lot of potential for Matt Gay to get a lot of fantasy points this year. So that's not a bad guy to have on your team.
So that's why I got him.
There you go. I just explained to you why you got him. Fantastic.
No, I mean I got him because I was thinking offense, good team.
Yeah,
you're not going to score. So
I know. I'm just ripping you. Okay, so next on the docket,
Ronald Jones II got me negative 70 points.
Negative 0.7. Yeah, that's what I meant because he fumbled earlier.
Yeah, you bum.
All right, next you got Seattle Seahawks going to Indianapolis to play the Colts. Who do you got?
Carson Wentz won't be back this game, will he?
I heard something about him might be.
I mean, he's trying to come back though, but I don't think he'll come back this game. Anyway, but since Carson Wentz is not playing, then the Colts have a chance. But even still, I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks. I do like the Colts defense. The Colts have a good defense. Who's home that game?
Okay, Carson Wentz is going to be playing.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not betting on Carson Wentz. Who's home that game?
Colts.
Colts. Ooh, home field advantage is back. But give me Seattle. Give me Seattle. I'm going to go with best quarterback in this game. I'm going to go with Russell Wilson. All
right. I also am going to take the Seahawks here, partially because I think the Colts are headed for regression this year. Not only is Carson Wentz a bit of a step down from Phillip Rivers, but I also think that defense is going to take a step back.
Okay. That's an interesting take.
The Seattle Seahawks, I don't think the Seattle Seahawks are going to be like title contenders this year or anything, but I do think that they're better than the Indianapolis Colts. And especially, Russell Wilson, who was, on pace to be MVP last year until, Aaron Rodgers just went absolutely fucking ham.
Yeah.
So,
shit.
All right, next up, we got the Arizona Cardinals traveling to Tennessee to play the Titans. Who you got?
Arizona Cardinals versus Tennessee Titans. This is an interesting game. This is probably where we want to start to see a split. Tennessee, man, they look good.
Yep.
And they're going to get the Cardinals. Oh, this is a tough one. I'm going with Tennessee on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going with Tennessee. You can't bet against Tennessee, man. Not in this situation. Tennessee, man, they gotten better this year. Tennessee gonna be a threat. Tennessee can actually win AFC. Like they're actually a sleeper to win the AFC. Like Tennessee can legit win AFC. Like watch out for Tennessee. Like I'm not even gonna. They probably won't win the division. Yeah, they probably won't win the division.
Yeah,
I don't see. Yeah, they probably won't win the division. Yeah, I won't with Tennessee.
Who the hell else is gonna win that division? Like the Texans aren't. I already told you how I feel about the Colts. The Jaguars aren't ready.
I mean, they're just sneaky. Tennessee is always sneaky good, man.
Yeah. Well, lately they have been.
I mean, like you just don't expect. You didn't expect Derrick Henry to just come out of nowhere. You didn't expect Tannehill to come out of nowhere like he did.
Literally out of nowhere. Because don't forget, Derrick Henry was trash his first couple of years.
Oh my God, he was. He just came out. He started stiff on. Then he realized he's the biggest person on the field, and he just started stiff arming people to Texas.
Right. I'm gonna agree with you here. I think the Titans are gonna win. Partially, I agree because I agree with you about the Titans being like, kind of a sleepy, really good team. But I also I feel
Julio
like
Jones,
people
man.
are really too high on the Cardinals.
Yeah, they are. I'm not sold on Kyler Murray.
I'm not sold on Kyler Murray either. I'm really not sold on Cliff Kingsbury.
I don't think he's going to be a bust, but I'm just not sold on him. Like honestly, like
I don't think he's going to be a bust at all. I don't think he's going to be able to save Cliff Kingsbury's job.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Yeah, and then like their running backs are okay.
When they lost Kenyon Drake, they actually their running backs are not okay. They got James Conner in there now.
Yeah,
and he was he was okay for Pittsburgh for a little bit, but he didn't stay too good. Now, granted, Pittsburgh was also really bad at run blocking, so that was part of it. But I don't see him doing so great out there in Arizona. The one thing is they do have like the 2013 kind of like how like everybody's talking about how like in basketball the Lakers and the Nets are basically like the 2013 All-Star team. Well, the Cardinals are basically picking from the 2013 NFL All-Star team because they got J.J. Watt and A.J. Green in the offseason. So I'm not sure either of those guys are going to do a whole lot because they're old and kind of past their prime at this point. But they're fun talking points.
Yeah, give me the Titans.
Yeah, I'll take the Titans for sure. Next, we got the Denver Broncos heading to New Jersey to take on the Giants. What do you think, Thomas?
Broncos versus Giants. I'm gonna go with the Giants. No.
Okay.
Who did the Broncos settle on the quarterback?
I think they're starting the year with Teddy Bridgewater.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Giants. I think Daniel Jones is gonna take a step forward this year. Now, I'm not saying that Daniel Jones is going to be MVP candidate or anything special or anything. I think he's just going to take a step forward. And Daniel Jones really isn't a bad quarterback in the first place. So I think that Daniel Jones is going to take a step forward, and the Giants are going to find a way to win this game.
Okay. So I am going to completely and utterly disagree with everything you just said. I think the Denver Broncos are going to win this game, and I think Daniel Jones is going to prove that he's a bust this year.
Oh, okay.
I really like Teddy Bridgewater. I think he could potentially. I don't think he's gonna like be an MVP candidate with the Broncos or anything like that. But I do think that if the Broncos commit to Teddy Bridgewater, I think he could potentially lead them to the playoffs this year, especially with that defense.
Is it because you hate Duke?
What does Duke have? Oh, because of Daniel Jones.
Yeah, of course.
No, it's not. That's not why I don't believe in Daniel Jones. I don't believe in Daniel Jones because he tripped on air.
I mean, we all tripped on air one time in our life, man. We haven't tripped on air at least once, then you're lying to yourself.
He's a professional athlete.
So people trip on air. People trip on stuff, man. He's still human.
Not one of the most important stages you could ever possibly be on.
I think I've seen.
And also, your entire career is based on you doing this one thing well. He did that badly.
Once. People trip on air all the time. Everybody gets on shotgun fool every once in a while. I watch Kendrick Perkins take 12 steps and not get caught with travel.
I don't know, man.
Shout out to Kendrick Perkins, y'all.
I think Daniel Jones is not a good quarterback. I think I could see Daniel Jones being one of those guys who is just like ends up being a journeyman after he flames out in New York and then ends up going to a team like the Broncos, for example. A team in not the Broncos, but a team like the Broncos, a team that's got like a really good team around them. They just need a quarterback to plug in and go win a Super Bowl. And I could see maybe Daniel Jones going and doing something like that. Kind of like Trent Dilfer did for the Ravens back in the day, or Brad Johnson did for the Buccaneers in 2002. Like one of those kind of quarterbacks who, like a journeyman who just happens to find the right team. I could see, maybe Daniel Jones ends up having a career like that where he ends up like having a revival outside of New York. But I think right now he's just not ready for that kind of spotlight. And I think New York's expecting too much out of him, which they should because he was,
they don't got offensive line either.
Pick.
They don't got offensive line either.
Not really, no. They tried to address that, and from what I understand, Andrew Thomas hasn't exactly been great.
I'm gonna do my pick. We got Saquon coming back. That should be fun.
Yeah, for a week until he gets hurt again.
I mean, Saquon already have a big injury history. It could be a freak accident. Could be a turf. Yeah. Could be a lot of things. But yeah, I want to go to the Giants this year for this game. Okay. I want the Giants, yeah.
Okay. So next we got the Los Angeles Chargers, who, by the way, are you know what? I'll talk about it in a second. The Los Angeles Chargers are traveling to Washington to play the Washington forgot to name my team Peoples.
Hey man, y'all might as well just keep the name of the football team. Honestly, just keep that name.
Yeah, honestly, I kind of agree. It's unique, It's kind of dumb. And it's got a really dumb backstory to it, but it's unique. Nobody else does that in the NFL. It's kind of
cool. It, man, because like it is cool though. I don't mind it. It's like I mean, like all the teams in Europe or their soccer teams, they just got the city. It's more about the city than the team name. So
right.
Keep that name.
Right, I kind of agree. Like, and honestly, all the other names that they have, like, none of them really hit. So it's like, I mean, I like the Red Wolves.
WFT, man.
Yeah, exactly.
And just move it around any way you want to use those letters.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when they're bad.
But that said, I think the Chargers are going to be good this year. Ooh, the Washington football team, they got Chase Young.
They got Chase Young, and now they got like Ryan Fitzpatrick at quarterback, and he's not like ideal, but
he's gonna keep it stable. He's gonna keep it stable. I want to go with the. No, give me the Chargers this game. Give me the Chargers this game. Okay. Give me the Chargers this game. I just think that Herbert. Man, I really like that quarterback out of LA. So I'm gonna go with the Chargers.
Okay. I'm gonna take Washington, because I do believe in Justin Herbert, which is new for me, by the way. If anybody was following me before this podcast, you'll know that I was really down on Justin Herbert going into the draft. You won't find any evidence of that on this podcast because we kind of started this podcast halfway through last year. But if you follow me or talk to me or whatever before we started this podcast, you'll know that I was not a big fan of Justin Herbert. And turns out I was wrong. I guess he ended up being pretty good in the NFL.
Yeah.
But that said, I don't know if I necessarily believe in the Chargers, especially week 1 with a brand new head coach, when I'm not entirely sure they really should have fired their old coach in the first place. Mm-hmm. I really like what Washington's doing. I like Ryan Fitzpatrick in there over Alex Smith. Not that I don't respect the hell out of Alex Smith for what he did, by the way. I don't respect Dwayne Haskins at all, but we've talked about that before. But not that I don't respect the hell out of Alex Smith for what he did, but I do think he might have been a bit of a liability because he was a really limited kind of quarterback. He had accuracy, but he didn't really have mobility. And I mean, would you have mobility after what happened to his leg?
Sure.
I mean, come on. I'm not blaming the guy at all. I think it's amazing that he came back, and I was rooting for him to be the starting quarterback. It really was.
Yeah.
But from a team building perspective, Ryan Fitzpatrick is a way better option to have in there. You got Ron Rivera as your head coach in, not your first year like Brian Daboll is over there in Los Angeles.
Yeah, Ryan Rivera been doing a good job playing the coach there in Washington.
Yeah.
Gotta give it to him.
So that plus that Washington defense, like Washington is a really well balanced team, and I think honestly, if they don't win the NFC East this year, then something's up. Something's going nuts. Something's going crazy because I think the Washington football team is probably, weirdly enough, after that insanely bad NFC East season that we had last year. Now, out of nowhere, I think the Washington football team is one of the more complete teams in the NFL. Doesn't mean I think they're one of the best, but I do think they're one of the most complete. They're one of the most well-balanced, I guess, is a good way to put that.
Very well-coached team.
Well-coached, very well-built team. They don't have too many holes. I mean, I don't think they're like juggernauts or anything, but I do think that, they're a team to watch out for. I really do. I think that they're, in my opinion, the favorites in the AFC or in the NFC East, and I think they'll probably beat a team in the Chargers. That feels really chaotic to me. A lot of people are saying the Chargers are like dark horses to have a big season this year, but first of all, I was what's his name? Brandon Staley. That's who's the head coach. But again, same thing. I was saying the wrong name, but it's basically the same concept. Brand new coach, and it's week 1, and you got Justin Herbert going into his second year, and I think Justin Herbert's good, but I don't think he's as everybody's basically rating him as the greatest thing since sliced bread already, and I don't think I agree with that. I think Washington is a more complete football team than the Los Angeles Chargers, and I think especially in week 1. Coaching is going to make a big difference, and coaching is going to get Washington the win this week.
Yeah, no, I Ron Rivera, man, he, they did win that division last year, right? So yeah, I'm with you on that one. I mean, even though the division's trash, I do think they'll take a step forward, but I don't, Ryan Fitzpatrick don't throw me.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm watching I'm not watching Trainwreck for YouTube. 10 out of 10.
Trainwreck what?
I'm watching Trainwrecks on YouTube. The video is called Trains versus Trucks.
You should, what you should be watching is the train wreck that's happening on Thursday Night Football right now. Because you remember how good we said that first half was between the Cowboys and Buccaneers?
Yeah.
The second half, just started, but from what I'm seeing so far, it's just, I don't want to say a train wreck, but I think I did just say a train wreck. it's not. Just these first couple plays have just been like, what the hell is happening?
Yo, this is phenomenal. These trains just shred right through these trucks.
What a random fucking thing on a football podcast. See, that's what y'all are getting, by the way. You're getting we do edit these podcasts to get rid of a lot of the dead time, get rid of a lot of the really dumb shit that has no place in the podcast. But for the most part, you're getting a lot of very genuine, just us being random weird people on this podcast. It's like a football podcast, but with real life involved.
Oh, this idiot decided to sit right next to the train tracks and try to film it. He started running. It's not. Anyway, I'm sorry. Who's next?
Next, we got the Chicago Bears going to Los Angeles to play the Rams. So, big focus on the quarterbacks in this.
That's a good one. The Bears versus the Rams. I actually like this one. This is a really good one. I really would love to pick, because I would do our big upset of the week. Mm-hmm. I would love to pick the Bears for the big upset of the week on this one. Cause that Bears defense, man, and they know Matthew Stafford.
Thomas, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure you already picked your big upset of the week when you picked the Dallas Cowboys over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, well, that's different. That's that. Yeah, you're right. So
and honestly, my opinion on this game, I don't think these two teams are too far away from each other.
I don't either.
They're both playoff teams.
You know what it is. That Bears defense, man, to keep them in everything. Who's starting? Dalton.
I believe yes. Dalton's going to be starting week 1.
Man, I'm actually
still better than Nick Foles and Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, but I'm struggling with this one, man. I'm struggling with this one. I want to say, I really want to. Who's playing home? The Rams.
It is going to be in Los Angeles, yeah.
That's the tiebreaker for me. That's literally a tiebreaker for me. I'm gonna go with the Rams. I'm really struggling with picking the Rams because I should say the Rams, but I'm really struggling with picking the Rams because simply because the Bears played Matthew Stafford and they figure out Matthew Stafford enough. They know his style. They know him well enough. That coaching. The Bears are a good team, man.
Yeah.
The Bears are a really good team. They just haven't had the quarterback they wanted. But if they had the quarterback they wanted, Justin Fields, who's going to be there soon. I don't even want this game.
I think I'm going to agree with you on this one. Because here's my thing. These two teams, just looking at these two teams like side by side, they could pass for almost the same team. They really could. Because like both teams have improved quarterback situations this year. Both teams have stellar defenses with some like one of the best defensive players in the entire NFL playing on either the Bears or the Rams. Like the Rams got Aaron Donald, the Bears got Khalil Mack. So these two teams are so similar. You're going into week 1 of the season. And I mean, I know Andy Dalton isn't exactly like, the greatest quarterback of all time or anything like that, but he's better than Mitch Trubisky and Nick Foles. He's an upgrade from that, by leagues. Although I think Matt Stafford is a much bigger upgrade for the Rams over Jared Goff. But then again, Jared Goff wasn't that damn bad. He just had a horrible contract. I don't know. I think like you though, I think I'm so kind of torn on this. I'm going to have to go to tiebreakers. I'm going to partially do the home team tiebreaker and say that the Rams kind of have an advantage on that. But I'm also going to say, because it's week 1, coaching is going to matter. And that is the biggest difference I see between the Los Angeles Rams and the Chicago Bears is Sean McVay is 10,000 times the coach Matt Nagy is, at least as far as being a head coach is considered. So I got to give it to the Rams, partially because they're the home team, but also partially because I think they got the better coaching. And, in week 1 between two very similar teams, I think that's what's really going to come down to is going to come down to coaching.
Yeah, I didn't even come down to coaching. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. I agree with that.
All right. Next up, we got the Green Bay Packers traveling to New Orleans. Well, that's not true. I was going to say traveling to New Orleans to play the Saints. But that's not happening because they had a hurricane come and do a lot of damage on New Orleans. So they're actually going to be playing the game. So they're going to be playing this game in Jacksonville. New Orleans is the home team, but only really technically.
Yeah.
And with the way Green Bay Packers fans travel, it might not even feel like a home game, even though it's still taking place in the South.
I'm very intrigued by James Winston this game. I think James Winston. I'm going to say this. I think James Winston's going to have a really good season this year. I'm not.
I think he could have a pretty good season. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not out of bounds of saying that. I think James Winston's going to have a really good season this year. I think James Winston's going to. Man, James Winston. He had 30 touchdowns and 30 picks. And, that tells me that there was a problem, that he could throw the ball. He's just not seeing things. Well, he did have eye surgery, obviously. But, you put him in that coaching staff. I think he had a coaching staff and play behind Drew Brees to put him on that team. I think he's going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the Saints are going to lose a step this year. But, you know what, though? Honestly, I'm not going to think about this, actually. There's a lot of drama surrounding the Packers.
There is.
I'm going to the Saints this game. I'm just thinking about this. I'm going to the Saints this game. Now, I'm not saying the Packers are going to be bad this year, but I think they're going to go off to a slow start. I think they're going to have an alarming loss this year. Give me the Saints. Yeah, give me the Saints. I'm going to the Saints. Give me the Saints.
All right. I do not agree. I think Aaron Rodgers is back in the fold. All of that drama was surrounding Aaron Rodgers having problems with the Packers. Sounds like they've mostly worked out their issues. Aaron Rodgers is a lot happier now. Aaron Rodgers is the reigning MVP, and the Packers are just, I think, a more complete football team than the New Orleans Saints, who had to release a bunch of players due to cap issues.
Yeah.
At the beginning of this season. So, I mean, I do agree with you. I think Jameis Winston has the chance to thrive in New Orleans, and I think he could potentially have a pretty big season this year. But I think this week, I think the Packers are just going to be too much week one. I think the Packers could be Super Bowl contenders.
They will be. They will be.
I don't know if they're going to make it that far. I think it'd be hilarious, by the way, if they made it to the NFC Championship game and lost again. That would be legendary.
I just think they're gonna have. I think they're gonna have a slow start this season.
They could. I don't necessarily think it's going to happen in week one. But I will say this one, if you're bringing it down to coaching, then it would be the Saints, because Sean Payton, one of the best, most tenured coaches in the NFL, going against Matt LaFleur, who Matt LaFleur is a very good coach, but he's just not, doesn't have a whole lot of experience.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
Yep.
Okay.
So next up, we got the San Francisco 49ers traveling to Detroit to play the other team, who I think has a chance of going 0-17. So why don't you tell me what you think about this game real quick, Thomas?
The 49ers going to Detroit.
49ers going to Detroit.
49ers going to Detroit. 49ers, the San Francisco 49ers, with one of the best coaches in the league and one of the best offensive minds in the league.
But Thomas, are the San Francisco 49ers going to come out of it with intact kneecaps?
Going in Detroit. The Detroit Lions, who start in Jared Goff, Swift, and lost their best receiver. Who I pick in this game? I wonder. Get the best coach in the league. Who's even the coach for the Lions?
Dan Campbell. He was the one who was talking about biting off people's kneecaps.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the 49ers in this one.
Yep. I agree. This one's not close. Like, okay, first of all, when I say the Texans and the Lions could go 0-17 this year, I'm not really saying that either of them are gonna go 0-17. I'm just saying that both of those teams are the teams that are bad enough that I think if anybody had a chance to do it, it'd be those teams.
By the way, no, I don't know. I'm really intrigued to see how Jared Goff is going to do in Detroit. I'm really intrigued. I don't think I'm not saying he's going to do. I am not here saying that he's going to do good in Detroit.
Well, it is interesting because Detroit's rebuilding.
I don't know.
So you got intrigued. Jared Goff's got that huge contract that's taking up all this like money, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter because the Detroit Lions are trying to like gut their team anyway.
I'm intrigued. That's all I'm saying. I'm intrigued.
It's interesting. I think Jared Goff could be pretty good. I do think, though, that I think the 49ers, who were playing like Super Bowl contenders last year outside, but like, they could have been Super Bowl contenders last year, but kind of got screwed over by injuries. I think, I don't know if they're going to look like the exact same team this year, but I do think that they're going to look like a very similar team this year. So, pretty much every single box is checked here for the being an advantage 49ers. And I think it's got to be the 49ers. There's no question.
Dude, I just watched this train just blast through this crane. It was like a truck that had a crane on the back, and the train just blasted right through the crane. It was so freaking awesome. I don't know what it is about being a guy and seeing like stuff crash and being so fascinated with it. Yeah,
it is fascinating. I'll give you that.
let me put back on the football game. All
right. So
this guy's trying to jump a car on the train tracks. What an idiot!
Wow. All right. Last non-AFC North game that we have is the Philadelphia Eagles going to Atlanta to play the Falcons.
Philadelphia Eagles going to Atlanta to play the Falcons. Okay, so this is interesting. Jalen Hurts. Oh man, see the Eagles. See, I don't know what to expect from the Eagles this year. Because the Eagles really isn't a bad organization. You know, they had one injury last year and had Carson Wentz as a quarterback. So I don't really have a good gauge on how good the Eagles are. And these don't have a good gauge on the Falcons. Because, like, I really do just think the Falcons season last year was just a fluke. Like, I don't think they're as bad as their record was last year. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're not a bad team. Like, Matt Ryan's not bad. And they got good receivers on that team. Calvin Ridley's really good. I mean, like, they don't have a defense, though. I mean, they do anything to address their defense over the offseason?
I'm sure they did. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
You see, this is tough because I don't really have a gaze on either one of these teams. Because I don't really think that poorly either one of these teams. I really do think the last year was just a fluke for the Falcons. Because Matt Ryan. Let me rephrase this. I don't think the Falcons are as bad as their record was last year. I think they're slightly better. I think the problem was their defense, obviously. But I just think I don't know. I think there's a lot of bad luck with the Falcons last year. I don't think that they're a team that you can just say that they're just trash. Matt Ryan isn't a bad quarterback, and they have a good receiver. Who's home that game?
Falcons.
I'm gonna go with the Eagles. I do think Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. I think Jalen Hurts is gonna. I don't go with the Eagles.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't go with the Eagles. Yeah, I just think the Eagles are just a very well ran. Well, I don't know. Not the last couple of years. But yeah, come on with the Eagles.
Okay. I think I'm going to go with the Falcons, mainly because I do agree with you that the Falcons are not as bad of a team as they looked last year. Yeah. I do think they aren't that great. I definitely think they have some holes. But I really I do not in any way, shape, or form believe in the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they're going to be bad this year.
Me neither, honestly. He's trying to talk me out of it. Can I change my pick? Is it too late for me to change my pick?
You can, these aren't locked in until the episode goes up. So
give me. Yeah, I'm sticking with the Falcons. I'm more worried on this one. I'm going with the Falcons.
Okay, all right. So we're both picking the Falcons on that one.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it for the non-AFC North games. So let's go ahead and get to the AFC North games. We got first up on the docket. We got the that one team in Western Pennsylvania going to Buffalo to pay the wow, I cannot talk. Going to Buffalo to play the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't think it's going to be a big of a blow as I want it to be. Only because the Steelers do have a good defense. Kind of.
They had a good defense last year, but they lost a lot of pieces. They got a good pass rush. But like Josh Allen can neutralize a pass rush.
They got Minkus. No, you know what? No, I'll take that back. Give me Buffalo all the way. I'm not betting on the Steelers. I think Buffalo will win the game. In fact, I think the Steelers going to keep it close for the first half. I think Buffalo is going to take off in the second half. I think Buffalo is going to explode on them in the second half.
I'm going to call it Buffalo in a blowout here. I think the Steelers are just going to get absolutely fucking exposed.
No, you know what though? You know what it is though is that I just think Buffalo's defense is going to smack Ben Roethlisberger around this game.
Exactly.
I think Ben Roethlisberger going to have a wake up call this game, so I'm going to roll Buffalo for sure.
And then Josh Allen's Josh Allen.
Oh yeah. Yeah, give me Buffalo. Who's home this game? Home field advantage matters a lot because these crowds are going to be rocking. Because these some of the first times that these fans are going to see their teams in 2 years. These crowds are going to be rocking, man. These crowds are going to be insane. Like if college football is any indication of what these crowds are going to be this week, these crowds are going to be insane. Who's home this game? Buffalo?
Buffalo's home, yeah.
Yeah, definitely in Buffalo. Yeah, it's a no-brainer right here.
So and then got the.
Tom Brady still another interception?
No, it was a punt.
Oh, okay. That's what I get for watching train wrecks.
Yeah. All right. So Baltimore Ravens going to Las Vegas to play the Raiders. What do you think?
I said it on the podcast and say it again. I'm gonna go with the Raiders. I think Henry Riggs, Derek Carr is gonna have. Derek Carr, I don't think that he's a bad quarterback. I don't think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I think he's like good, like just solid quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna roll with the give me the Raiders this game.
Yeah,
And I just think that Baltimore is going to be shell shocked. I don't think, like I said, I think Baltimore's going to be a middle pack team. I think Lamar Jackson's obviously going to do Lamar Jackson things.
I just I don't know who to pick in this game. Like, because honestly, without their running game, I see the Ravens and the Raiders as very similar teams. I see them about on the same level. I see them both as like, mid-tier teams that, kind of don't have much of an offensive identity, but also do have offensive talent.
Yeah.
I think I like the Ravens defense better than the Raiders.
Okay.
I don't know. After that, I don't know. I think the running back situation is going to see. I really think that running back situation could be a big problem in week one. I think they'll get it figured out.
Yeah, me too.
But week one.
Me too. I do think Bell's going to be fine. I do think Bell's going to be fine. I think Bell's going to have a decent season. And I think they're going to be, people like, oh, yeah, Bell is the perfect plug-in. Watch. You want to hear that? Watch. Resurgence by Bell. Watch. You want to hear that? Watch.
Right.
And I just think that's football. I think that, running backs, if you surround the right things around a running back, they can be good. Like running backs are, I don't know. I don't want to discredit running backs, but, running backs they're the easiest position to find in football.
Some would call them a dime a dozen.
Yeah, they're the easy position to find in football. Like, you can find, like, the easiest thing in a football to do is find a good running back. Find a great running back's hard, but to find a good running back or a solid or at least serviceable running back, very easy to find in football. And
Dak just threw an interception.
Yeah, he did. Of course he did. I don't know. I'm gonna go with the. I'm not terribly worried about the running back situation. I'm more worried about that. I'm more worried about that cornerback situation. Yeah, I think Raiders gonna have a game. Yeah, give me the Raiders.
Okay.
Raiders is really good. Raiders is really good. Raiders is really freaking good.
Yeah, I'm still kind of going back and forth on this. I could really see either team winning this game. Especially Las Vegas having that. I think the Ravens are a better team, but I think Las Vegas with that home field advantage, and especially with that
it's the
with that whole new
though.
Stadium vibe going. This is our. I don't know.
It's the shock of the injury too, man. It's the timing of the injury. Like this injury just happened at the end of the week, and you're either gonna rally around it or you're not. But I think it's gonna be really hard to just. It's just gonna be really hard to get over, man. That's gonna be hard.
The other thing is that Raiders defense just ain't that great.
Yeah, that's true. Well, they got to defend Lamar.
But Lamar can be pretty hard to defend, though.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Cause all right, so Sammy Watkins, can Lamar get the ball out to Sammy Watkins?
Well, you know what. I'm kind of talking myself into it here. The Raiders had an awful defense in 2020, right?
I'm not gonna let you talk. I want you to to pick the other team.
No, because I didn't know, so I got to figure out who I'm going to pick. So what I'm saying here is the Raiders had a really bad defense in 2020 across the board, just absolutely awful, right? So the 2021 offseason, they did a lot of work on their pass defense. They didn't do much to their run defense. They did a lot of work on their pass defense. So I think this week is tailor-made for them. They got a Ravens team that might find it difficult at all to do anything in the running game with no fucking running backs. And then they already built their team against the pass. So if it works out, it could make all the difference in the world. And so I think the Raiders probably have more advantages in this game than the Ravens do. So while I'm still not sold on the Raiders in general, I do think that they probably have enough advantages in this week to come away with a win in week 1.
Got you.
So
okay, all right, sure.
All right, so let's go ahead and predict the Browns and the Chiefs.
Oh,
we already kind of talked about it earlier. I think I know who you're picking because you already said it.
The Browns.
Yep.
Browns. Yeah, you missed it in the podcast. I think the Browns are going to come out and they're going to punch the Chiefs in the face.
Yep, it was.
I just think that defense. I think the Browns defense is going to show everybody. I think the Browns defense is going to show everybody what they're made of. Oh,
I do think okay. So I'm picking the Chiefs here. The reason I'm picking the Chiefs is because I think Baker Mayfield and the Browns offense can probably keep up with the Kansas City Chiefs talent wise.
Yeah.
Especially because I think the Browns offensive line is better. Like just straight up. Like I think the Browns have a much better offensive line than the Kansas City Chiefs. But my problem is I really, really worry about the Browns' ability to defend the middle of the field. Touchdown Buccaneers. And I really see Travis Kelce and Clyde Edwards-Helaire having big games in the passing game this week.
Let's see.
And I mean, I don't mean it's going to be like a huge blowout or anything like that. I think, it could be a shootout. I think the Browns and Chiefs could put a really good, fun to watch game together. But I think ultimately it's just going to come down to who has more holes. And I think the biggest glaring hole on either team is the Browns linebackers. Okay. So, I mean, I'm nitpicking here, but I think it's going to come down to that.
I think Takk McKinley's going to be good.
Yeah, well, okay, Takk McKinley's edge rusher.
Yeah, you're right. Dang, I don't know. I don't know that. I think we'll be fine.
Oh well, okay. I'm glad you're confident in your team. I just I think I think the Browns are basically going to have to be perfect to beat the Chiefs, and I don't think the Browns did enough work on their linebackers. I think bringing in Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah was a great move, but he's not starting, so that's kind of a problem. I think he should be starting.
Man, we'll see. We'll see. I think him not starting speaks volumes for what we at.
Final game of the week for us to predict is the Cincinnati Bengals hosting the Minnesota Vikings.
New man on the Minnesota Vikings. So mad at it this year. Give me the Bengals. I think the Bengals gonna come out. I think the Bengals gonna have a great season this year. I think they're gonna start the season hot. Mm-hmm. I said multiple times I think the game circle for the Bengals to win, and it's a home game for the Bengals. Mm-hmm. Joe Burrow's back. Joe Burrow, he's anxious to get on the field and show everybody what he got. Joe Burrow can probably have a great game this year. Jamar Chase is going to show all the haters up. Give me the Bengals.
I agree with your prediction. I think the Bengals are going to win. I think it's going to come down to showing that some of those things that worked in the preseason, I want to see them continue working in the regular season, in particular that defense. If the defense can prove that they are who we, thought they were, the team that the defense that they looked like they were in camp in the preseason, if that defense shows up against the Vikings, the Bengals will win this game. I think, I think if that defense can really put some time together, I think it might take Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase in particular a little bit of time to get going. But if the defense can hold things together enough to give them that time to get going, it's gonna be it's gonna be a Bengals win all the way. The only thing that I think is going to potentially go the Vikings way is if the Vikings just have an absolute like fucking go ham type offensive performance, because I don't think Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow and the Bengals offense in general, but particularly those two players, are ready for a complete like balls out shootout. I don't think they're ready for that right now. So that's the only way I see this going the Vikings way. But if there's any semblance of defense played, if the Bengals defense can slow the Vikings offense down, I think the Bengals take this game.
All right. I just think the Bengals. I just don't think the Vikings. Kirk Cousins just don't scare me. I just think that if y'all get a good lead on them, I don't think the Vikings can come back. And Vikings always do better later in the season than they do in the beginning of the season anyway. So this is looking at.
And they definitely did last year for sure. They started out bad, got good, and then kind of tailed off at the very end.
Yeah. I agree.
All right. So you and I definitely have a bit of a difference of opinion on a few different games. I want to say, as far as like NFC versus NFC games go, you and I don't agree almost at all.
No.
AFC games were a little bit more, of a like mind on, but we're definitely going to. We definitely have enough differing games here that we're definitely going to, I think, establish a clear advantage between you or me in this first week. So we'll see how these games play out. Right now, just want to point out Tampa Bay is up by 8. Is that right?
Yep.
No, 9. Up by 9.
Yep.
Tampa Bay is currently up by 2 scores. Just barely 2 scores.
A game left.
Scores nonetheless. So
a lot of game left.
Do what?
A lot of game left.
No, you're right. There is a lot of game left, and the Cowboys have been kind of good on and off. But they're going to have to get. It's 5 minutes left in the third quarter. They're going to need to start to kind of start turning things around if they want to win this game. And did they give him the first down on that? I didn't think that was a first down.
Yeah, he did. But they gave him a first down.
I did not think that was a first down personally, but I'm also kind of half paying attention, so that's probably part of the issue. So anyway, guys, that's it for predictions this week. We'll give you a recap episode next week. Make sure to watch the main podcast. I'm not going to do a whole big intro on the predictions like I do on the main podcast, but go check out the main podcast. It's got good content, especially if you're a Bengals or a Browns fan, or you just want to hear about the Bengals or Browns, or I don't know, man, maybe if you're a Ravens or a Steelers fan, you want to hear us, talk trash about your team, and then you can come talk trash about, our team back at us. We've had a Ravens fan on the podcast, Zach Colgan, and that was a fun episode. And then I think Thomas went live with a Ravens fan near the end of last year's regular season for a game that had heavy playoff implications. So
we'll get some more Ravens fans on this podcast.
Yep, we're gonna have a lot of different fans. One day we might even have a Steelers fan if any are brave enough to actually come on.
Possibly, we'll see.
Talking all this fucking trash, man. I really do think the Steelers are gonna be bad this year, but all I'm saying is they fucking better be, because I'm gonna look like such a fucking asshole if they're good this year.
Yeah, I feel it.
All right. But anyway, guys, that's it for us. So, who dey?
Go Browns.
No, thank you.